Welcome to the Special Education Inner Circle podcast. We're going to have a conversation, just me and you. We're going to talk about some of the realities of what happens in special education and why I will never, ever give up on bringing more collaborative strategies to special education and bringing parents and teachers and admins and therapists together to train together, to learn together, to understand each other, to just work together at a different level. You know, there's a lot of people that are having great experiences in special education, and I'm excited for that. And I always say, you know, if things are going good, let's work together and go to great. It's easier to go from good to great than it is from kind of being in the pit and getting out of the pit and getting to something that's good. And, you know, I'm working all the time with Master IP coaches. I'm talking about, come, join us in the Master IP Coach mentorship. Let me show you collaborative strategies. Let me help you be a leader at the IEP table. We say you can be the idea bringer, solution finder, and team builder. And I'm always kind of sunshine and unicorn and rainbows when I'm talking about what is possible. But there's a reason that I go to that extreme. There's a reason that I'm always kind of preaching about we can do this together and we need to learn together and we need to train together. And this week, I got an email in my inbox that reminded me of, and this is why. So I thought I'd give you guys a little sneak peek at this email and share with you because maybe you don't know about this side of special education that I'm going to share. And I'm going to tell you, I have been part of that side of special education that I'm going to describe here as a teacher. I have seen parents experience this side of special education, and that's why I don't like different sides of the IEP table. I like us to work together. Okay, so here's what happened. I sent out an email that let everybody know that there's a bonus that's happening if you join us in the Master IP Coach mentorship. I just got a bunch of t-shirts. Anybody who follows us knows we love to put on our Master IP Coach t-shirts. We're all working, independently across the country as Master IP coaches. So you put on that t-shirt and you take a picture and you put it out there, and you're just part of a community. We're working together. So I wanted everybody to know that there was this bonus of, you know what, I'm going to send you a t-shirt. I want you to, just feel like one of us, come together and let's do this special education thing together. In response to that email, I received an email, and there were some typos in here, so I'm going to kind of glance over those and make sure that I don't give out any information that would, total respect for privacy here for this person. But she said, as a mother who found out everything on my own before I went to our IEP and 504 meetings, I don't need to join you. So I can just have you tell me that I already know what I'm talking about. The fact that numerous principals and assistant principals quit because of me, and a special education teacher retired early because I was questioning why he wasn't following the IEP, I think I could teach you a thing or two. I sat on that one for a couple of days. I won't respond. I am sharing that because I get emails like that, not very often but often enough that it's disappointing, right? It's disappointing to know that something happened in the school system that put this mom on a path where she is feeling like she won the situation because staff quit their job. And none of that is a win. Whatever happened to this mom, which I completely acknowledge, something had to happen. She didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, I think I'm going to go, hope that some teachers get fired or retire early or leave. I hope nobody wakes up and just says, hey, I hope that this happens, or I'm on a mission. I'm just going to make this happen for no reason. Nobody does that. Okay. But something happened where she got on fire and needed some extreme change. And she went for this extreme change. And she feels like the win is that the staff left. And that's not okay. It is not okay. It is not okay that any of that happened. And it's definitely not okay that the end result is she thinks that she can teach me a thing or two on how to change IEPs, because I never want to change IEPs like that. And I can have empathy for whatever happened. And I don't even know what happened. You know as much as I know right now, okay, in that situation. I don't know what happened. I know that something happened. I've been doing this long enough to know that something happened, all right? But I want you to know, if you're that parent who has been on fire like this, you are not alone, and it is possible to turn around. And it's like, I'm going to come on over here. Let me help you. I completely acknowledge that you've been through a not great situation. And I know I'm putting that mildly. Okay. I completely acknowledge that. If you're a teacher who has experienced this, like things obviously went really wrong on that team and it affected the entire team, come on over. Let's talk about this. If you are a parent or a teacher, or you've just been an IEP team who has never experienced something to this extreme, here's why this is important. It's important for you to understand this extreme. I'm going to give you an example. I was sitting at an IEP table, long time ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago. I was sitting with one of my clients. I'd worked with her for years. And that's what we do as master IEP coaches. We build relationships with families. And we, and this is what I teach in the mentorship. I would say, like, I didn't take clients just for an IEP meeting. When I was learning to do this on my own, before the Master IEP Coach mentorship even existed, before I built that to teach everybody else, hey, we can do IEPs this way. This was my own private practice I was doing on my own. And so I would go year after year after year after year with this family to IEP meetings. And there was a special education director who was a little bit newer to the team. Maybe I might have had one meeting with her in this IEP setting prior to this meeting that I'm talking about. And we were asking for something very creative. And it had to do with extended school year. It had to do with inclusion during the school year. We're asking for these creative solutions. And I was getting a straight out no from the special ed director. Like, no, we don't do that here. No, we can't do this. Now, anybody who I've trained inside of the Master IEP Coach mentorship, you guys know, responses, show me the policy. Can we please write that down? And I know what to say to get through those situations. And it's not that we weren't getting through the situation we were, but I actually asked for a break in the meeting because I had a feeling. I had a feeling that there was something else going on. So I actually asked to speak to the director. I said, can we just talk for a second, just me and you, like not even with my client. And my client trusted me to do this. And she says, fine. Like the admin, quite honestly, she still had her defenses up, like, yeah, okay. And I said to her, I'm going to guess that you've been burned before, that the things that we're requesting, you are hesitant to do these things because you've been burned before. I can see that you want to say yes, but you're saying no because you're unsure. And her face completely changed. And she was like, yeah, actually, I don't know how you knew that, but I've been burned in situations like this before. So I feel like we need to do this, 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 this. And she kind of laid out the process that she was thinking about in order to get to what you're asking for. Basically, what it was is she needed to ask her boss and run it by her boss, but that's not really what she should say at the IEP meeting. So she was saying no instead. And she's like, I kind of just want to get clarification because I know that we can do it and we got to get this up. And we had this really open conversation where it was almost like she was saying, just give me a second because I just want to make sure I don't get burned again. But like, I'm 99% sure, like, we're good to go on this. And because we had this conversation, because I was able to say, listen, I can see something that's happening here, we were able to get to an agreement in a way that I told my client, I said, listen, talk to the director. She's got kind of like a paperwork shuffle. She's got some red tape. She's got some people that she wants to talk to. Typically, and my client knows my strategies, right? Of just collaboration. I said, typically we wouldn't end here at this note, but I'm going to highly recommend that we end right here. We're going to pick it back up after we get some, she can get some things lined up behind the scenes. And we ended up having the best IEP resolution for all of the things that were kind of a struggle that we needed some creative solutions for. The paperwork was done beautifully. We built trust on the team because, was that the exact right legal way, that we coulda, shoulda, woulda, I don't know, done things? No, but it's human. It was the human relationship way to say, listen, something's not right here. How do we get through this? We've got a law that we need to follow. We've got an education that's not working. We've got creative strategies that need to happen. And I could tell that this person wanted to help, but she felt like she couldn't. And that's a huge sign that she had been burned in the past. And that's exactly what this situation, when I think about, this mom who emailed me and she's, not going to come into our master IEP coach program. She doesn't want me to teach her how to do things collaboratively. That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. Right. Like, I'm not going to try to convince her, like, I promise you I can help make things better in that way. She's got to go through her thing, and that's okay. But I want you to have some understanding. If you've never experienced this before, you are sitting at IEP tables. So teachers, you are sitting with parents who have been burned before, most likely in some way. Okay. And parents, you are sitting with teachers and admins who have been burned before, who have experienced the situation of people leaving their jobs, who've experienced, just complete disruption to what could have been happening and it wasn't happening. So now it exploded into a huge situation, into something different. I want you, before you start to address whatever that next conflict is, whatever that next concern is, if you're getting a no, there's a lot of strategies that I could teach you. But I'm not going to be at every IEP meeting with you. And I want to encourage you to kind of look at it from another set of eyes. I want you to kind of step away for a second. And I want you to think, is this stuck? Is this conversation stuck? Because perhaps somebody needs to know that we can build trust on this IEP team and we can do this together. And it doesn't need to be a complete shutdown of this conversation. You might need to acknowledge part of the scariness of working together, especially after there's been hurt. On that note, I hope that you guys are in this space where you're ready to collaborate, where you're ready to come together with like-minded parents, teachers, admins, and therapists, some who have been burned really, really bad, but they're ready to do things differently. You're ready to build a foundation that is completely different than what you've ever built before when it comes to writing an IEP that works in the real world, that you want strategies that are proven, not the cross your fingers, hope this works out kind of strategies, but real strategies that work, and to help give you that leadership skill that you need to get through some of these ugly situations that, quite honestly, there's not a direct manual for them. You have to understand how to adjust and adapt as a leader at the IEP table. And yes, every one of you listening right here are a leader at the IEP table. You have the ability to be a leader at the IEP table because you have a specific role that you need to fulfill. And that makes you a leader in that role. You can find all the options for joining us in our Master IEP Coach community, in the mentorship, at the conferences. We've got some really exciting ones coming up. Just head over to masteriepcoach.com. And remember, if you had one of those aha moments during this and you're just like, yeah, you know what? I bet you this is what's happened. Or, oh my goodness, yes, that I was burned and I'm ready to change this. If you got any of those moments of like this, I need to share this with my fellow teacher, with fellow parents, please go ahead and share. Leave a 5-star review. Leave a comment. Every time you share, you comment, you leave a review, it helps more teachers and parents work together on building better IEPs. I'll see you guys next time.